So welcome back to this channel once again, and today I'm going to create a video on uh, sorting in a load also file. So here I'm going to perform sorting based on employee number, name, status. So either in ascending order or in descending order, or at any time I'm able to reset to my subfile to the original state. So here I'm gonna give you the demo of the following things. So this is the simple subfile, load all subfile. Here we can see page down. So these are the number of records which are loaded into this subfile. Now here we can see that either we can take F3, just call this again. So F3 to exit, F4 sort by employee number in ascending order. So employee number is here, and this is employee name, and this is employee status. Okay, so now I'm gonna sorting this by employee number in ascending order. So I can see that this is already in the ascending order. So if I take F4, I won't see any effect here because this is already in this ascending order, because this is a key field in the file. So that's the reason. If this was not a key field, then we will be able to see the effect in this file when we are selecting sort by employee number in ascending order. Okay, so here we can also see when I took F4, subfile record sorted based on ID in ascending order. So if I took shift F4, sort by employee number in descending order. So if I took shift F4 here, so I can see the effect. Now my records are sorted based on the employee number in descending order. So the number employee number which is greater would be first, and then to the lower one, or the smaller one, larger to smaller one. Okay, so 99, 50, 42, 39, 15, 14. So if, for example, at any time I want to switch back to the original subfile state, so I'll be pressing F7. So F7 resets subfile records, subfile reset to original state. Okay, so I can see again the original state achieved. Now if I take F4 and shift F4, I would be able to see that this has been sorted based on ID, either in descending or ascending order. Now if I take F5, so I can see that the subfile is sorted based on the employee name. Now if I take shift F5, so I can see that the uh, again the subfile is sorted based on the employee name, but this time in descending order. Now here I can see, if I took F6, so I can see that the the subfile has been sorted based on the employee status. So first one is the records which are active, then the inactive records. If I took page down, and if I press shift F6, so I can see it is in descending order based on employee status. So inactive records are first. So those employees who for example, employees whose status is inactive, so I can see those first because I selected for shift F6. Okay, then if I would be selecting F7, so I would be able to reset the records. Okay, I cannot see the shift F6 thing here, so let me check. So this is the subfile basically. Now I can see shift F6 also. So if I press shift F6, for example, when I took, so I'm basically sorting the subfile records based on employee status in descending order. So I can see the inactive status first, then active status. Okay, now again setting it back, resetting it back to the original state. So this is the whole functionality which I'm going to give you the demo. So let's start. So here you can see that I have created this physical file here of name student2 whose record format is rstudent2. I have taken three uh, fields here: employee number, employee name, and status. Employee number is numeric and other ones are character fields. Okay, and employee number is a key field here in this file. So I just inserted few of the records in this file. So if I would be checking, so let's see. So these are the records which are present in the file right now and which will be loaded to the subfile. Okay, now this is the subfile which I created. So let's see. So here we can see that the display size of this subfile, the subfile, or you can say the display file, is 24 by 80. So this is the standard size which I took for this one. Now I can see that I have defined one subfile format. So we can identify the subfile format with this keyword. So SFL keyword associated, if this keyword is associated with any format, then that means that this is a subfile format. Now we can see that we have defined three fields with it with this format: employee number, name, and status. So first one is numeric and other ones are character here, and all are defined in the output mode from these lines, starting from line 6 and these positions. Okay, now this is the subfile control format, which is basically based on SFL RFMT, this subfile format. So using SFL CTL keyword, so if a so we can identify a subfile control format using this keyword. Okay, and we can also identify with this which this to whom this subfile record format is associated with, subfile control record format is associated with. So we can point out to the format name which is mentioned here. Now we can see that I have taken CA03, 4, 5, 6, 7, 16, 17, 18, and I in associated these 0, 3, 0, 4, 5, 6, 7, 16, 17, 18 indicator, because you can see that I took F3, F4, shift F4 means F12 plus 4 means 16. So shift F4 means CA16. So whenever shift F4 is pressed, 16 is on, shift F5 is pressed, 17 is on, shift F6 is pressed, 18 is on. So the same way, F4 is pressed, 4 indicator is on, so the other ones are also gets on once those keys gets pressed. So why I took CA03 here? Because I don't need to pass any data from one screen to the another, so that's why I used command attention key. I would be able to use, or I can use CF03 here, but I don't need that because I don't need to pass any data. So whenever I am needing any data to be passed from one screen to the another, so that some processing could be done based on those data, then that case only we will be using command function key, CF17 or CF18 like things. Now you can see that this is a load all subfile, since the subfile size is 9999 and SFL page is 9 here. So so you can first judge out of this that we don't need to handle the page up and page down functionality in load all subfile. Now these are the records which will be loaded in one page, and these are the total number of records which could be loaded into the load all subfile. Okay, this is the I used overlay keyword. So whenever I'm displaying data on a workstation, so in that case, for example, earlier one or more um, formats are displaying, so in that case I'm not erasing them, I'm directly overlaying this format to onto them. So SFL clear and SFL display. and SFL DSP CTL. SFL clear is just for clearing the subfile. So in case when I need to clear a subfile records, so at that point I need to set this as on. Then I need to write the subfile control record format. Since this is declared in subfile control format, then I have to set it back to off, so that once my work is done, I have to set it as off, because if in case I'm not setting it as off, it will be always on. Then my subfile will always be clearing. Whenever I'm writing data, that will get cleared automatically. So I will be seeing that I'm not able to write any data into the subfile. So I need to set this on first, then I need to set this off again after writing the subfile control format. SFL display is just for displaying the subfile. So once even a single record gets loaded, I need to set this as on so that subfile could be loaded, and this is the mandatory keyword with this subfile display. So this is basically dealt with when we need to display the subfile, empty subfile. So subfile record number is basically when, for example, we are pressing enter and we need to handle the screen pay on the thing. For example, we are on page 2 and I'm pressing enter. I would be on page 2. I won't navigate back to the page 1. So in that case, I'm using this SFL RRN field, which is a hidden field. You can see this one, and 4 is of type 4 is 0, of length 4 is 0. Okay, so here I can also see these are the headings which are being displayed using the subfile control format: employee number, employee name, employee status, and sorting in load also file. So these headings can be here because and must be above the subfile control subfile format records. Okay, so that no overlapping issue would occur. Now here I'm taking the footer format where I'm displaying those F3 to exit, F4 to sort this, shift F4. So all these messages I am using here, and as you can see, these are the messages which will only be displayed once these indicators gets on 81, 82 or 83, whatever the message indicator is on, that message will be displayed on the screen. Okay, now just take F3 from there. Now we have seen the display file. Now just go to the program. So here you can see that I have defined the student2 file, and which is a keyed file, and I defined that in input mode. Now I defined the PGM13 DSPF display file in combined mode. This is a workstation file display file. I defined the subfile format using sfile keyword, and I associated the RRN with that, and I also used file information data structure with this one's subfile record format, so that I would be able to handle the enter key functionality. So we are basically at any point we are having the current RN value from these positions from the file information data structure, so that we would be not navigating back to the first page. So if I'm on second page, I will be having the RRN of the first record of the second page. So if in case, for example, my subfile page size is 9, for example, I'm loading 9 records per page. So if I'm on second page, I will be having the current RRN as 10. Now I declare this these variables RRN that is associated with the subfile format, and this is, you can see that this is the array ds, means this is the data structure with array. So this is qualified, so I would be able to qualify the subfields of this array ds, so that array ds dot num, array ds dot name, array ds dot status, like this. So, and this is array ds index. Okay, now I took the loop variable again and array ds backup as well. So I took two array ds. So one is for main functionality handling and one is for backupping. So we are basically having a functionality of resetting the subfile to the original state. So basically we are using this thing backup, ARRAYDS backup, for that purpose only, which is qualified dim 999, and these are the fields num, name, status. Now here don't see these things first, so I'll be first looking into the things which will be executed first. So initialization subroutine will be executed first. So here basically what I'm doing, I'm loading DS array first, okay, and then I'm loading the subfile. So why I'm doing this? Because I'm not loading the subfile by reading the file. First I'm reading that file and I'm loading the subfile DS array, and based on that DS array I'm loading the subfile, so that I would be able to achieve the sorting functionality. Okay, so first I'm doing load DS array. So here I'm initializing this index as 0, clearing the array DS backup and array DS as well, setting the low the pointer to the R student 2, and then reading the all the records of student 2 file till the not percentile end of file, and array DS index is less than 9999. Okay, so in case if it is 9998, I would be having, I would be going to this one, and it makes it 9999, and I'll be having 9999 total records. Okay, so now I'm basically what I'm doing, making it 1, and then on the first position of it, this array DS, I'm moving the file fields, employee number, employee name, employee status, to this array DS. Okay, so the first position num field dot name status. Okay, and the same thing is happening with the array DS backup also. So now here I'm able to load all the DS arrays. After that I'm executing the load subroutine. So basically I'm loading the subfile. So in load subfile, first thing is setting the RN as 0, because we don't know whether we have record in the file or not. So then I'm setting the SFLRN as 0, since there is no record, so SFLRN must be 0, because we are not going to show any record. So we are going to display basically the empty subfile. So for that purpose we have some thing below that. So I'm setting these indicators as off, because I'm not going to show any message on footer right now. So this is the indicator for stop loading the subfiles. The subfile once the size value reaches. So now what I'm doing, I'm setting the indicator 10 is off, so that I would be able to display the empty subfile in case no records loaded to the subfile. So loop equals to 1, and I'm doing it till the index which is loaded in my array DS. Okay, so I'm loading the first record from the array DS, so first one, so like this one. So I'm moving the array DS records to the subfield records to the subfile format record. Okay, format fields. Okay, then I'm writing the subfile format. So in case if rn equals to 9999, I'm making this on 99 as on. Okay, I'm making this 99 as on, and then if I'm checking if rn is greater than 0, means I'm able to load the subfile. I would be setting this indicator 10 as on, means I'm activating the SFL display keyword. So I'm reading the array DS in the loop, and I'm then writing those things to those records to the subfile format field, and I'm writing the subfile record format. So in that way I would be able to load the subfile format. Finally, finally, in case if rn is greater than 0, means some records are loaded, so I would be making SFL rn as 1, means I would be displaying the first page. Now there is one thing which needs to be changed here. Is like I use this one 99 as on, So I don't require this right now here because I'm not reading the file. I'm basically reading the DS array, which is of size 9999 itself, no more than that. Okay, so now we have seen this one, and load DS array and load subfile. So after that, once initialization routine is complete, then I would go to this part. I would be writing the footer format. I would be execute formatting the subfile control format, means reading, writing, and then reading this. So I would be able to see the subfile format and the file control format in front of me. Then I would be able to select anything, F4 shift F4, F5 shift F5, F6 shift F6, F7, F3, or pressing enter. I would be able to play with the keyboard keys after that once the subfile is played in front of me. So for that purpose, if I would be clicking or pressing any keys, then I'm going to the process keyboard keys. Okay, so now what I'm doing, so what I'm doing here, if F3 is pressed, I'm setting this last record indicator is on and I'm returning from the program. If enter key is pressed, so how can I check the enter key is pressed? So if F3 is not pressed, F4 is not pressed, F5, F6, F7 is not pressed, then that means enter is pressed. So there would be few more conditions which would come here. For example, if shift F4 keys would be there, means if I'm 16 is equal to off, you can say, and star in 17 is equal to star off, and star in 18 is equal to star off 6. Okay, so if these are the things, then I would be able to judge that this is enter key. Here enter key is pressed. So in case of enter key is pressed, I would be passing the current RN. So if I am on page 2, I have already explained, if I am on page 2, I will be passing current RN and moving this to the SFL RN, so that I would be on the second page always when pressing enter. So I'm not moving back to the first page, or on any page. For example, I'm on 10th page, I'm pressing enter, I would be able to I would be on the 10th page. So in that case, I'm making all these indicators as off, because I'm not going to show any message. So in case if an enter is not pressed, so maybe user would have pressed F4 key. So then sort the file by employee number ascending order. So what here I am checking condition, if F4 is on and array DS index is greater than 0, means that is not an empty subfile. So in case of empty subfile, I don't need to do anything. Okay, so in case if this is not an empty subfile, then I need to sort this. So what I am doing, I am using the sorted function. Okay, so I'm using sort A to sorting this array DS. So using this, I can sort the either an simple array, or also I can sort the array DS. So here I am doing what, I'm using percentage sub ARR to sort that particular field. Okay, array DS, then star dot num. So I'm basically sorting the num subfield of this array DS using percentile sub ARR. Okay, so from first till array DS index, means till what index the array is loaded. For example, array have 5 records, so from first to 5 I am sorting the records. Okay, so I'm using sort A. So by default it is, if I'm using sort A, by default it is sorting in ascending order. Then once this array ds is sorted, I would be clearing the subfile because subfile is already loaded. So subfile clear is here, so I am setting indicator 20 as on, and then writing the subfile control format, and again setting indicator 20 as off. Okay, then I am going to load the subfile. So load, we have already seen the load subfile. So basically we are loading based on the array ds. Okay, now the array ds is sorted, so whatever the sorted array ds we have, we will be loading that basically. Now, so here I am sorting by employee number in ascending order. Then I am executing this the load subroutine. Then I am setting indicator 81 and 82 as on, so that I would be able to see that sorting is successful based on ID in ascending order. Here sorting is successful based on ID in descending order. For indicator 83 is ID in descending order, and indicator 82 is ID in ascending order. Okay, so here if shift F4 is pressed, indicator 16 is on, and array ds index is greater than 0, means not a empty subfile. So what I'm doing, I'm using the same thing, but here you can see that I use the operation extended D. Okay, extended D, so which is basically denoting that I am sorting this array ds subfield num using percentile sub arr opcode. So I'm sorting this based on descending order. D denotes descending. So if in case I'm not writing this, that means that I'm doing the ascending thing. So either I can also write sort A, then in brackets I can write A. Okay, so that thing is optional here, but in case of doing the sorting in descending order, I have to write D. Okay, so using this I can sort this array by employee number in descending order. Then I'm clearing the subfile, and then I'm again loading the subfile based on this sorted array in descending order. I'm setting these indicators as on. If in case F5 was pressed and array ds index is greater than 0, I am again sorting the name field of this ds array using percentile sub arr function code. So, and then I am sorting in ascending order, clearing the subfile, loading the subfile. 84 indicator is on here, 81, 84 on here. Shift F5 is pressed, then sorting based on descending order. Okay, on the name field. If F6 is pressed, so sort A used, and the same things as above. Now here I'm sorting based on status. If shift F6 is pressed, I'm sorting in descending order of the same field status of array ds. Okay, then I'm subfile, clearing subfile, loading subfile, setting these indicators as on for the respective messages. If F7 is pressed, reset the subfile to the original state. If F7 is pressed and array ds index is greater than 0, I am first clearing the array ds, because I am basically loading the subfile based on array ds. So I'm now, since I might have the, you can say, for example, before taking F7, user might have taken F4 or shift F4 or F5 or shift F5, so that it would have the sorted array either in the ascending format or in the descending format, or on based on any column. Okay, so if in that case I would be actually first clearing this one, and then setting the loop as well one, and then I'm running the loop till array ds index not reached less than equal to array ds index. So basically what I'm doing here, I'm evaluating the array ds backup which I took at the initial point, which is not used anywhere, which will be used here to do the resetting of the subfile. So here I am basically passing the first record of this array ds to this array ds backup to the array ds first record. So in loop I am actually evaluating all the records. Okay, so now the array ds would have the original state. Now I'm again clearing the subfile, again loading the subfile based on this the original array ds. Now I am setting indicator 88 or as on means I have reset the subfile. Okay, so this is the thing which is basically did here. So once user press anything, user would have come back. If user would have pressed anything except F3, so user would have come every time here to display the format, because I didn't use, you can see that I didn't use the INLR or return anything here, because so it will be executed always. So till the time I'm not pressing F3, I would be here. So just save this, and then you can call this. So you can again see this thing, taking F3 to come out, F4, so file equals sorted based on ID, shift F4, descending order, F5, name in ascending order, shift F5, name in descending order, F6, employee status in ascending order, shift F6, employee status in descending order. Okay, F7 to reset the original backup. Okay, so either I'm exiting from the program. Now I'm taking F7, so file reset to original state. Okay, so it is already reset, but I took F7, so I would be seeing this message, so file reset to original state. So if I am pressing shift F6, I have sorted this subfile based on employee status in the descending order. Now I'm pressing F7, again coming to the original state. So this is the whole functionality of the sorting. Okay, so here and that's all in this video, I think, and thank you and have a nice time.